21-year-old American-Israeli Edan Alexander is now free after a 19-month ordeal. He had been held in Gaza since the horrific attack in southern Israel on October 7th. His release coming just ahead of President Trump's trip to the Middle East this week. Israel insisting this is not a prisoner exchange, claiming Hamas is getting nothing in return. The IDF pausing combat operations during Alexander's transfer. However, Israel says it still plans to increase military attacks in Gaza. Edan Alexander grew up in Tenafly, New Jersey. He moved to Israel to serve in the military after he graduated high school. He was assigned to the infantry and stationed near the border with Gaza in September of 2023, just weeks before October 7th. His mother traveling to Israel yesterday. She is there for that long-awaited reunion. Alexander's parents have been extremely vocal in demanding Israel work to obtain the release of their son and the other hostages. They are calling his release the greatest gift imaginable. Back home in Tenafly, this is what it looks like. The community turning out, anxiously awaiting the news of his release. Many people say it was just important to be there to show their support for the entire family. Let's get right to our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Panel. Ian, this is the first time the White House has negotiated directly with a terrorist organization. Let's talk about how this came together and what type of precedent this sets.
Yeah, hi, Kira. A dramatic moment and dramatic developments as we are talking. We are expecting that he's been handed over to the Red Cross. He will then be transferred to the custody of the Israeli Defense Forces. There's a helicopter waiting on the ground at the military base where his mum is now waiting to be reunited with him. Her saying, I just want to see him, hug him, be with him, and that they were totally surprised by the news that the US was going to secure the release. But it's an absolutely significant moment, especially coming on the back of that direct deal between the Trump administration and the Houthi rebels in Yemen. What you have is a Trump administration essentially bypassing Israel for the second time. This is bad news for Netanyahu, who has been cut out of this deal, although the Israelis are going to have to secure it. It's good news for the Trump administration. Just to be clear, he is the last living American hostage. There are other American hostages who we sadly believe may have lost their lives during the fighting or during their captivity, but we're waiting for details on that. But it is a significant moment. President Trump on the cusp of traveling to the region. This will be seen as a diplomatic coup for him, especially having brokered a ceasefire agreement between India and Pakistan. So there are developments going on at the moment. We have to wait and see what condition he's in. But one other important thing I think to tell you is there has been a suggestion from Edan Alexander, this is Edan's mother, that perhaps, depending on how he is, Edan may travel to Doha, to Qatar, and meet with President Trump, who will be there later this week. Kira?
And Ian, I had the chance to interview Yael and Adi a couple of times as they anxiously were waiting for this very moment. And I did ask them both, what are you going to do the minute your son comes home? And both of them telling me we're going to hug him forever and never let him go. On the note of the president heading to the region now, senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is standing by. Let's talk about the fact that this is the last living American hostage that's coming home. What role will the U.S. now play in this effort to end the conflict, Selena?
Well, this is a major moment, of course, as well for the Trump administration, the result of these direct negotiations between the U.S. and Hamas. Now, Trump officials are seeing this as a gesture of goodwill to the U.S. The president saying himself today that he sees this as a step taken in good faith towards ending this broader conflict. And this deal, we're told, Kira, came together really in the last couple of days. We're told that the officials involved were holding their breath until the last moment, until they saw the announcement coming from Hamas. And President Trump today praising his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, who has played a lead role in these negotiations. We are told that Steve Witkoff is actually on his way to the military base, expected to meet with Edan Alexander. And Alexander's parents have been a tireless advocate. In fact, they even met with then presidential candidate Trump back in October 2024, where President Trump really developed a personal connection to this case. President Trump, as you just mentioned, he just took off for his Middle East trip. He'll be stopping in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. Notably, he is not going to be stopping in Israel, but this conflict in Gaza is going to loom large over his entire trip.
And Selena, one more question, but before that, I want to let everyone know we are being told the handover has begun. Edan is now on his way to the hospital. As he heads to the hospital, you mentioned Trump heading to the region now, clearly to make more deals with other countries.
Yeah, I mean, geopolitics as well as economic ties, it is going to loom large over this trip. But the fact he's not stopping in Israel is significant. As Ian had just mentioned earlier, the Trump administration directly negotiating with Hamas, leading to this deal, a direct result of those negotiations. But the president, again, he is breaking with tradition by choosing the Middle East as the location for his first major foreign trip. He made the same decision in his first administration, skipping over America's closest neighbors. The president, this comes as his administration has been growing closer ties to Middle Eastern Gulf region nations, and Saudi Arabia, where he's stopping it, it served as a critical venue for conflicts, mediating conflicts around the world, including also the war in Ukraine.
Lena, Ian, thank you. And I know we all anxiously await to see those pictures of the entire Alexander family together.